Welcome to the BioBuzz Center. I'm Tracy Cooley, and we are at the 2014 Bio International Convention in San Diego with Jeff Hatfield, who is President and CEO of Vitae in Pennsylvania. Welcome, Jeff.
Hi, Tracy.
So today we're going to be talking about legislation and policies that can help to spur capital formation for emerging companies. To just start with, let's just talk a little bit high level about how, from an emerging company CEO perspective, how you feel legislation should be geared towards helping small companies.
I think it's really important. So the R&D tax credit that's in effect right now is a wonderful, useful tax credit. When it was put in place years and years ago, it was intended to incent companies who were revenue generating, profit-making companies to put that money, the profit, back into research to be able to advance science and innovations in other industries. But the evolution of innovation has moved more to companies like mine, Vitae Pharma, where we're focusing on important disease areas like diabetes, Alzheimer's, autoimmune disorders. And whether or not we have a high tax rate or a low tax rate on profits 10 years from now, might take that long, is important to shareholders of the future, but right now, companies like mine, CEOs like me are making life and death decisions of, can we fund this innovation? So this legislation unlocks the opportunity for us to fund that innovation and move forward while not being a profit-generating company for a while.
So there's a couple key bills out there right now. The Startup Jobs and Innovation Act, which is sponsored by Toomey and Menendez and co-sponsored by Senator Roberts, and the Partner Act, which is sponsored by Gerlach, Neal, Kelly, Kind, and Schock. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of these two bills?
Yeah, so these bills do what I was just talking about with allowing companies that are not generating profits to share in the benefit of the net losses that they're accumulating with investors. So that provides capital for companies that can then drive innovation. And I think it's important to call out that in these pieces of legislation, these are not new tax incentives. They're just changing the timing of the tax incentive to allow companies that are trying to drive innovation to use them now, as opposed to in the future when those innovations are potentially generating profits.
And talk about a little bit about the importance of really what is most important here, patience, and what, in particular, what happens if you're not able to expedite R&D for them.
Yeah, Tracy, that's really the key point. That's why we're here in the biotech industry. That's what people like me in this industry really care about, is what are we doing to help the patients? And I know for a fact it's true in our company and so many companies, we're constantly in a capital deprived environment. It's very tough to come up with the money to be able to drive our innovations, and all the time, every day, people are making decisions to slow down trials until they can get funding, to perhaps not advance really important discoveries because they just can't get the capital fast enough and in the right quantities to be able to create that next step up, to get it further, to learn something, to advance potential cures into the clinic and eventually to the FDA for considerations. All those decisions will be benefited if we can increase the amount of capital that's coming in to these early stage companies before they're eligible for other like public funding.
Well, Jeff Hatfield, thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoy the rest of the convention. Thank you to all our viewers as well. For the BioBuzz Center, this is Tracy Cooley.
Thanks, Tracy.